Welcome, welcome, welcome to Resting Biz Face, the podcast where I talk about what it really takes to build a creative business without burning out, selling out, or pretending that you've got it all figured out. I'm Michelle Allen. I'm a writer, a creative strategist, and a personal trainer in training. And this is where I share reflections on what it means to grow a business, write books, lift weights, and stay creative, especially if you're doing it all whilst neurodivergent or tired, or just completely over the whole usual advice. This is such a special week as I'm speaking to my former business coach, Shannon Whaley. She has got years of experience helping clients scale from zero to multiple six figures. And she is the founder of the Anti-Hustle Business School, where she teaches coaches and service providers how to grow sustainable, profitable businesses without burning out or falling into bro marketing traps. This was such a wonderful conversation. We cover lots and lots of things, but this is just such an honor to share with you. So enjoy this episode. Okay, so Shannon Whaley, hello.
Hi.
Hi. So anyone that listens to this podcast you will have already heard me introduce in the bit that I'll do afterwards that I'm too embarrassed to do in front of you. But anybody who listens to the podcast will already know you because they will have heard me talk about you all day long. But for those who haven't heard of you, tell us who you are, introduce yourself to everybody.
Amazing. Yes, my name is Shannon Whaley. I am an anti-hustle business coach. I live here in Italy with my two cats by the sea, living my best child-free single life. I love helping people, so coaches, creatives, consultants, service providers. I love helping them use their personal stories and their experiences to connect with their audience and build, grow, and scale their online businesses. There's just like so much that I do, and it goes beyond business coaching. As you know, there's a huge personal transformation that takes place when I work with my clients because of the different practices and strategies and tools that I teach them. So there's a lot of personal development that also goes into the work that we do. So it's hard to encompass it all in a little sentence.
Yeah. Like a neat little bio. I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm, anyone that listens to this podcast who watches it will know that you have been my coach for years now. So yeah, I feel like I will just have to resist throughout this whole episode, like nodding away and go, yes, you're so correct, because I really love what you do. And yeah, it is all encompassing. It's like the whole way that I approach life and business, it's so holistic, but everything that I do, it's sort of, if in doubt, I kind of return to the mindset work that you've sort of helped me embed, and the strategy work, whether it's life, business, or everything in between. So yeah, I could totally resonate with that.
Awesome.
Yay. So how did you get into coaching? Where did it all begin for you?
So I have a degree in psychology and a minor in feminist studies. And I was working as a domestic violence counselor. I thought I was going to be a counselor. I was looking into becoming a professor and higher education. And I went to one day of grad school to get my doctorate and was like, this is not for me. I was 22. I was like, this is way too serious and ridiculous. So I dropped out. And then that then kick-started about a decade of me not knowing what I was doing with my life. So in 2013, was living in Seattle, and I moved to the Cayman Islands just for shits and giggles. And I got sober 6 months later, and that was where my life basically started over. And I wanted a job, or I wanted a career. I was tired of having a job. So I wanted an actual career that held me accountable to my healing, held me accountable to my sobriety. Because the restaurant I was working as in a yacht club, and I wanted out of the service industry.
Mm.
So I thought, okay, maybe I could be a yoga instructor and do coaching on the side. And then I went through yoga teacher training. That's what helped me get sober and in recovery. And then I shattered my wrist at work. And then there goes my yoga.
Yeah.
And so coaching went front and center. And so that's when I went through coach training. And so this was about 2015 where coaching was starting to pick up, the online coaching space. And so when I went through coach training, I was like, this was exactly what I wanted to be doing when I graduated college, but it didn't exist in this form. It was just like executive coaching back in 2001. So it finally became the industry that I wanted to be involved in. So I wanted to help people live just really authentic, badass lives. I wanted to help them feel independent, and it just kind of morphed into business coaching. And I've thought about doing other kinds of coaching, like how can I get out of business coaching and do more of the like life coaching stuff? But I'm really good at the business stuff too. So I can't let it go. But as you know, like I infuse the life coaching and the personal transformation work into my business coaching. So I feel like I have a decent balance.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you do. I think that I always struggle with that. And the more, the more I realize how neurodivergent I am, I'm like, oh, my whole business model is shifting into like, you don't have to pick one thing. So I do books, business, and body. I've just like, I talk about business coaching, I talk about creative businesses, I talk about service, but I talk about body and books as well. I mean, and I'm always going, that makes no sense, but I'm making the chaos part of it. And I think the way that you do it is like, it makes a lot of sense because it's not just systems and processes, it is embodiment work, it is mindset work, and people know that going in as well. Like everyone will come for strategy, but like the good stuff is in the
There's so
mindset,
much
good
more.
stuff is in embodiment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So when you first started running a business, what surprised you about that? Like I suppose like what surprised you about running a business that nobody warned you about?
Oh, well, like once I got in and years down the road, I realized how important the mindset and the embodiment piece was.
Yeah.
But back in 2000, I mean, and maybe people were teaching this, I just wasn't paying attention, but I was way more into the strategy side of things. So I was watching the marketing gurus and really loving their message. And there was like a big divide between strategy coaches and then like the embodiment coaches. They weren't combining the two yet. And I was like, that's like foo woo
Yeah.
woo. I don't need any of that. I'm like, I get you results. These aren't intangible. Like, I'm going to help you with the funnel and I'm going to help you. And then, I mean, you can only get so far with that before your brain starts to tell you that you don't get to have this, that you suck, that you're a loser, you should be further along. And so it really surprised me of how important the mindset piece and then also the somatic piece, the nervous system regulation, because I was highly dysregulated for the first couple of years and was running my business out of that and then teaching out of that energy, right? So and then once you know better, you do better. And so then your business starts to change. So that's why now I incorporate all of the things because that's what's going to keep you in your business are the mindset, the tools, the embodiment practices. That's what's going to keep you regulated so that you can
Yeah.
show up even when nobody's buying or even when your brain's telling you that you suck.
Yeah. Which is like it never ends. I remember you and I speaking, we've been coaching for a couple of years and I just went, I've got this brand new problem. Everything's going really, really well. I can't remember what it was, but it was like everything's going really, really well. But of course now, whatever it was, and the value of having you coach me for years was that you were able to go, I feel like obviously you said this much better and in a brilliant coaching way, but it was like I'm curious noticing that this is kind of the same problem, just dressed up differently. And I was like,
Huh.
of course it is. It's the same
Mhm.
old problems. And you kind of, it's so fascinating that you carry all of this mindset stuff with you, all of these thoughts, all of these beliefs, and they do shift, they do change, but they sort of, you're having to always really do that work around, yeah,
Mhm.
reframing continuously of what you
Mhm.
think is possible for yourself. I
Yeah,
think,
and then each level, like you think, okay, I put it to bed.
yeah,
That's great. And then you go to the next level in your business or right like and then it's like sprouts back up and it's like, hey, don't forget. And you're like, oh my God, I thought I dealt with this. And
yeah.
so it's just wash, rinse, repeat, but it's just a different way.
Yeah, it's so bizarre. Like I've always had the thing around, like for me, it's always money mindset. Always like I've had the best year financially last year. I'm just
Mm.
doing my taxes. So I was just like looking at it going, did all right. I did really well, better than if I would have been in any sort of paid employment. And yet, like this start of this year was the hardest for me emotionally around money than I think it's been for 10 years. And it's
Mhm.
all of the same stories. And it's only through working with you, and it's only through looking into mindset and looking into the thoughts and not believing all of the thoughts that I have, that I've been able to like shift out of it quicker. But I'm still, I was still in it, but it's like recognizing the patterns. But yeah, same old
It's
shit,
so
same old
hard, like
stories.
all because all of that stuff, right, is like those things we learn when we're children. So our brains are just sponges
Mm,
and it gets locked in on so many different levels. So somatically, like our body wise, our brain wise. And I feel like it gets like cemented into those like little cracks, right? And so here we are. I mean, if you think that you've been working with me for a couple of years and so now these new concepts you've been introduced to them, so let's just say it's like 4 years. So there were what, 35 years
yeah.
of cemented, like hardened beliefs, generational stuff that was passed down. And so this is why we have to be really gentle with ourselves because we're undoing, we're unlearning, we're healing, um we're loving our inner child, we're loving
Mm,
the generational stuff, right? And like doing this healing work. And this is exactly what I mean by it's so much more than strategy, it's so much more than business. Like these are really deep emotional things that come up as part of being a business owner. I think that is actually what was most surprising.
yeah.
That part. Okay, so
Yeah.
I just thought I was starting a business. I didn't know that I had to deal with all this generational
Oh,
trauma. I
I
didn't
know
know
that.
that I needed to like uncover all of this money trauma and all of this stuff, right? Like, I just wanted to help people build a business. I didn't know that all of this was under there that was keeping me from, like, keeping me from making the money, keeping me from advancing my business because I
Yeah.
couldn't energetically hold things because of all of the money stuff that I had been raised with.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. And then I've got so much to say about that. I'm trying desperately not to, but yes, 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 and yes. And then also, I was just thinking, and this is why, and I love chat GPT. I've been saying it wrong for ages, so I have to pause every time because I've been saying the letters the wrong way around. But I love chat for all its downsides around, obviously we're worried about artists and copyright and all of that, and the environmental issues around using chat so much just to chat to. But this is why it's so great to have AI. It's so great to have chat, but you don't. If it was about strategy and
Yep.
what am I trying to say? If it was like hit me up with loads of content, let me put all this strategy out there. If it was that easy, we've had Google all this time. We've had the internet all the time. We've had all these free things from loads and loads of different people for all of this time, and we've had now chat for a while going, let me lay it out in the 5 easy steps to get it done today. Whilst that is more helpful than it's ever been, the reason that often we're still not getting the stuff done and we're
Yep.
still not doing the thing is because it's all that underlying stuff. It's all
Yeah,
the mindset stuff. It's all the narratives and the self-worth stuff, and it's all that stuff that, yeah, I wanted to just do
absolutely.
spreadsheets. Yeah, I just wanna
Yeah, I mean, like, sure, like, could you have chat tell you how to show up online to sell an offer? Absolutely. I mean, this is what I use
yeah,
chat to like figure out like my content strategy, right?
yeah.
But it can't help you in the way that a coach could in terms of, hey, I'm noticing a pattern because last week you were talking about how this was showing up in your relationship and now it's also showing up in your business. Let's talk about that. Chat's not going to fucking do that, right? Like it's just so that human connection, but then also like asking the questions of when was your first memory of not feeling good enough around money?
Mm.
Chat, it's not going to fucking ask you that. Like
Yeah, you
so
have to really,
that human
really
piece.
program it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you can definitely go, oh, I want you to respond to me in a sort of behavioralist, psychological way, and I want you to do, but it forgets after a while. And also, like, we should only maybe be, I do this having spoken to it quite deeply about quite a lot of stuff, and I'm aware I feel like I'm betraying him, betraying him. I personified it so much. But I can only put so much trust and belief into something that occasionally thinks that it can tell time when it can't.
Mm.
You know, like
Uh-huh.
I love it, but if I tell it to put an analog clock up saying like, show me a picture of a clock at 10 to 10, it'll just always not be able to do it. And occasionally it will just throw out the most random piece of maths that you're like, interesting. So,
Is this true? Did you fact check this?
and I say that knowing that I'm relying on it more and more and more. I can
Mhm.
feel like that happening. But yeah, I think it's the human connection, the community, the sense of somebody, you know, essentially with chat. If you're in different chats and different folders, I could be
Yeah.
talking to him 1 minute about arrange my week, another minute about personal issues, and another minute about, oh, I want to do actually this new business idea, and every single one that go, great, let's sort that out. It doesn't
Yeah,
go,
yeah.
Michelle, you're really spinning quite a lot of plates.
Right. Or
Yeah.
like, hey, is this getting you closer to your goals or further away? Is this going to take away from your launch that you just committed to or
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
and then also it's not going to be pick up like when we're coaching face to face and I say I want you to show up Monday through Friday for your business and I see your shoulders slump down or I see like your face wince and I can be like, "Hey, I just noticed there was an energy shift here. Like what's
Yeah.
going on right now?" How
Yeah.
did that feel in your body when I told you that I want you to show up Monday through Friday for your business?
Exactly. Yeah, I think ultimately we are just cleverer, although it can do a lot. I'm just thinking, am I cleverer? But yes. So I know I've already gone off on a tangent, so I want to make sure that I get to
Okay.
ask you all the things that I
We'll get
planned.
back on the trail.
That yeah, oh no, right. Where were we? Where were we? Okay, so I'm gonna actually skip ahead to like the idea of anti-hustle. So like you I suppose first of all, let's talk about like what is anti-hustle? How does that work for you in your business? Because you've used that phrase and you've kind of like arranged a lot of your business around like anti-hustle ways of
Yeah.
working. Can you give us a quick rundown of like what that is?
What that entails. Absolutely. So, like I
Yeah.
said, I started coaching in 2015. So that was where Marie Forleo, Amy Porterfield, Mel Farr was really big. I don't know if you know who she is, but she was also very strategy. I am ADHD, autistic and
Yeah, yeah,
ADHD. And so
yeah,
my brain fucking loves strategy, loves structure, loves order. I love spreadsheets. And so I was like, oh my God, like I found my calling when I saw that this was possible.
mm,
And the problem with all of that was that there wasn't any transparency around how many team members they had, what they actually had capacity to do. But they were telling us, new entrepreneurs, new coaches, You need to have a website. You need to be on all of these different social media platforms. You need to be sending a newsletter. You need to have an opt-in. You need to have all these fucking things. But they're running $1 million businesses with team members. And even Amy Porterfield has a copywriter, which was like, she's like queen of copy. She has a copywriter, right? That blew my fucking mind. And it also like made me very jaded because I was like, you guys aren't being honest about what it actually takes to run a business. And like, you're telling us that we not need all these things. So it ran so many of us into the ground, and so many good coaches and service providers ended up calling it quits because it was so overwhelming, and we were just hustling. I remember falling asleep at my computer, like head down, because I had a job and I was trying to start this business, right? So the problem with hustling is that it also works. That's the downside. Can you make money? Absolutely. Is it going to drive you into the ground and burn you out? Absolutely. So you have to figure out a more sustainable way to run your business. So I was burnt the fuck out in 2020, February of 2020. I was working a contract position. I had paused my business for a year to help a coach training company run their sales and marketing department. And I didn't renew my contract and restarted my coaching business. I knew that if I was going to be successful, that I had to run things differently. So that is where anti-hustle came in, because I was like, I need to make sure that I'm focusing on the right things at the right time in my business. I want to simplify, have a core offer, really work on my messaging. And so this was the evolution of anti-hustle, which was, how do I build my business around my life? Because we're taught that our life is Saturday and Sunday, and our business and our work is Monday through Friday, instead of, how do I enjoy every day of my week instead of waiting for the weekend to have fun and enjoy myself. And so that really became like the foundation of the work, which is, how do I build my business around my life, around my workouts, around traveling. And so that was really the evolution of teaching people how to focus on the right thing at the right time, knowing how to grow and scale sustainably, knowing the signs of burnout, knowing the signs of like when you're doing too much, learning how to outsource stuff, and just going from there.
Yeah, I love that. I remember seeing images of you just looking cool generally and being like, and you and I are so similar about, like, I love a strategy. I love marketing. I love narrative. I love sales when you're selling what you love. Like I don't have a problem like with all of that stuff. I think I do. I'm sure I do deep down. I'm sure there's mindset stuff, but I love the idea of service and putting your stuff out there. But it is just like, I listen to all the same podcasts. I didn't know that last person, but I listened to the Amy Porterfield one, and I quite like being sold to. I quite like going, oh, I'm in a funnel. That's fun. But it just looks, I just came down to the fact every time that I was like, I kind of don't believe, it feels a bit corporate. Oh, I don't know why I've got thumbs ups on my, I need to do like the heart thing. We're on Zoom, so if you're listening to this,
I've
I
never
just
even
had that
seen the thumbs
emoji
down.
stuff.
That's so funny.
I know, it's like I look up at some point and there'll be like fireworks going off because I move my hands all the time. But yeah, I just thought it just felt quite corporate and quite like, didn't seem fun, and I didn't want to have to be perfect before I started doing anything. And I didn't want to have to like be corporate business suit, boss babe, woman, lean in kind of shit. I'm not that. I wanted to be like cool. And then, and then I saw you. I was like, Shannon's cool and talking about marketing and talking about it in a bikini on a beach in a way that isn't like overly like, it's not about the bikini either. So it's like just someone living their life, doing the
Right.
thing and being remote from like working from a beach. And I still even now go, oh yeah, I need to like leave the house occasionally and
Uh-huh.
not like always work 9 to 5. I've gone backwards and forwards with the work schedule thing though. I've gone like, oh, I just work whenever and now I work there. And I've just basically reinvented the fact that 9 to 5 exists, and actually that works really well for me. Like it works.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, and this is the beauty of this business model of
Yeah.
maybe you try something out the time. So for example, like your schedule, and it works for a while. I mean, I feel like this is like us with like, what is it, like the hyper focus food? Is that what it's called? Or like, because
Oh yeah, like the
I
safe food.
well, yeah, like I eat this literally the same thing every day, like the
Yeah.
same menu all day for until I can't stand oatmeal anymore, and then I won't eat it for 6 months, and then I'm moving on to something else. So,
Yes.
but this is so you find your hours, and you're like, oh, this schedule works, and then something changes, something happens, and you're like, I hate this schedule. I need to do something else, and so then you know that you're not locked into this schedule, and you get to choose like, okay, I need to break my day up. I need a siesta. I don't want to work from 2 to 5. And
Yeah.
also I'll work in the morning, I'll have some time in the afternoon, and then I'll work a couple hours or not. Like maybe you just like power through. But this is like the cool part that you get to make your own schedule. And I just talked about this on my own podcast, which was that I work on the weekends, and I've used to feel really, and I have to do mindset work around it still, but like
Mm.
I used to feel guilty because I was like, this isn't very anti hustle. I'm working on the weekends. Like, how do I like model this? And so my coach at the time was like, yeah, but like, what does your week look like? What are you doing during the week? And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
just like fucking around. Like, I go to the beach and I'll go on bike rides and then I'll work a couple of hours. And they're like, well, that's why
Yeah.
you work on the weekends, because you have your weekend throughout the week and you're doing whatever you want and you're still serving your clients and you're doing the things. But for whatever reason, my brain can power through 8 hours of work on Saturday and Sunday and
Yeah.
get everything done that I didn't do during the week. And I can do these things. So I just had to make myself okay. Like you just have to
Yeah.
make it okay, and don't make yourself wrong for doing these things. But this is also the beauty of running your own business, is that you get to choose. And like I said, like in the beginning, like I'm child free. I don't have a partner. So my time is mine and mine alone.
Mm.
So I fully recognize that not everyone has this luxury, but it's quite nice.
Yeah. 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 I always say, oh, oh, yeah, no children, no pets. I'm like, I'm completely able to do what I want. And I think that, yeah, that I working the weekend, I do that a lot. I do wandering around during the day, work whenever I work, hit my targets, work a lot
Right.
more than I think that I work a lot of the time, but in a sort of happy way. But yeah, yeah, I realized the other week. So I occasionally, I know that I'm stressed because I start looking for retail jobs. Like
Yeah.
I basically panic look for work, and then I'm like, no, no, no. What would Shannon say? So I'm like trying to let's work on the business, let's do other things, or let's rest. Obviously, rest for me is always the challenge, which is why I do the podcast, to kind of talk about rest and rest in different ways and what rest looks like if you're neurodivergent. And it doesn't often for me look like bubble baths and staying still.
Mm.
It looks like running around and enjoying myself and doing lots of different things. What's my point? But yeah, I realized that it was too hot to do retail work. I was like,
Mm.
I can't do retail. Like, obviously, I will do whatever needs to be done to pay the rent and do whatever. But at the same time, realistically now, I know my brain well enough to know that I will not, I don't cope well in a uniform. I last about 3 months in any job that requires a uniform. I don't cope well with being told where to be and what to do. I tend to overwork. Like I tend to really focus really well on the work, and then like I need long hours for very short
Mm.
amount of time, because otherwise it feels stop start. Um, and I just what was the other thing? Yeah, it was too hot. And then I was like, oh, my cycle. I don't know when I'm getting my period anymore. Like my cycle is all over the place. So
Yeah.
hormonally, I can't predict how my mood is going to be. And that's not, I don't want to have to be nice unless I want to. Just, yeah,
No, being a working for yourself ruins you.
yeah,
It
yeah,
really does. Especially
yeah,
if you have to go in like to like some place to actually work, like versus, because like I do like work for clients, like done for you stuff. And
yeah,
it's kind of like, I'm working for them, but like I still get to sit at home with
yeah,
pants on or no pants, or I can
yeah,
work from bed or right. And like I just complete the deliverables and hand them over to the team. So like no one's like telling me what to do. I'm just doing things. But yes, 100%. Like having someone tell you what to do is like I'm
yeah. It's so hard. Like once you, I think it has just, yeah, absolutely ruined me for anything else. I mean, yeah, never say never. I'm always like, but then I do whatever it takes. I'm not sure I would anymore if I'm honest, but yeah.
it could be because
Um,
like I live in Italy, so like I can't work in the workforce here just because I don't speak the language well enough. And but I used to be a barista when I was in college and when because I used to do hair as well. I could
mm,
definitely I could definitely be a barista again because it's
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
That's one thing
This
I
is
could
it.
see
Yeah.
myself doing.
Yeah, I kind of love all of that stuff. I've realized how much my eyes and they don't look at all straight anymore. They used to be a lot straighter, but now one's really drifting out. So I've realized how much that's knocked my confidence in the real world, which is
Mm,
like, and but also I'm like, well, I just can't now because nobody knows where I'm looking unless I'm on a Zoom. So I'm like, I just have to work from my house from now on
uh-huh.
because unless I'm doing speaking gigs, unless I'm like the star, it just won't work. And so I'm like, okay, that's what we're doing then. We'll see. I mean, yeah, whatever it takes, but still it'll be difficult for everyone if nobody knows where I'm looking. I'm like,
Yeah.
next person behind the one in the, oh, I just can't. It's so um so I was gonna ask you, we've kind of covered like that so your clients will come to you sort of with an idea for a business and then like they want to make money but then they get stuck in the hustle in the
Mm,
middle. Was there
mhm.
anything that you wanted to say about like how your clients often find themselves hustling, or did we
Mm.
kind of cover that? Like, 'cause I guess it's
Yeah.
a different
So
time.
like, because I serve people who are at all stages of their business. So I've worked with people who were still in coach training and were starting their businesses, finished coach training, all the way up to making their first 5K, 10K months, six figures. I've worked with seven-figure business owners, salon owners, so and then everybody in between.
Mm,
So for everybody, it's they get caught up in, and this is just how we're programmed, which is more is more.
mm,
And so if I'm going to make more money, it means that I have to spend more time on my business. It means that I need to be doing more things. It means that I need to be in more places. I need to be selling more things. And then things start to creep in, right? Where they're like, okay, I'm going to do this thing and I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to send out a newsletter. I'm going to try to grow my list. Then I'm going to be on Instagram and Facebook. And someone said that I should have a Facebook group. So I'm going to start a Facebook group. And all of a sudden TikTok took off. So now I should be doing TikTok. And then that strategy's 10 talks a day. I don't even know what they're fucking called.
mm,
And then all of a sudden, and it's like, so when are you going to actually take care of yourself, have fun, take time off, eat lunch? Because like this starts to creep in and people are like, oh, I don't really take breaks during the day because I have too many clients. I'm like, well, that's fucking dumb.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
we need to knock that out. Like, and oftentimes what's happening is they are also undercharging. So in order for them to make the money that they want to be making, they need to raise their rates. They need to diversify and create a suite of services that make sense.
yeah,
And there's usually always an opportunity to really simplify what they're actually doing. So we have to look at what's working, what's converting, if no one is ever like responding and your Instagram isn't growing and there's no leads coming in, but TikTok's popping off, then maybe we don't need you on Instagram. Maybe you just
Yeah.
focus on TikTok and let your Instagram just sit idle, right? So, or like maybe you can hire somebody. So like what can be delegated? Where what are you doing that you don't need to be involved with?
Mm.
Involved in, right? Like you don't need to be sending out these maybe you want to write the newsletters, but you don't need to be putting them in the flow desk. You don't need to be scheduling things out. You don't need to be doing operations, right? So this is where it's time to scale and hire people. So
Mm.
again, like that's like a higher level conversation for clients who are further along, but it's something for people who are just getting started to really keep in mind, which is what I'm doing sustainable? How does this feel? Like, am I doing this out of scarcity? Is there an actual strategy? I've been talking about like having an actual strategy for the last couple of weeks because
Yeah.
most people don't have strategy. They're just throwing shit out there. They're just posting the post. They don't have an actual content strategy. They don't have a launch strategy. They don't have any sales strategies, right? And so, and then they're like not making the money that they want to be making. It's like, well,
Mm.
no shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course you don't.
Yeah.
If you're so this is where you really have to look at what's working, what's not working. Am I just throwing things out there or is there a process? And then if I'm just throwing shit out there, like who do I need to hire to give me this information? Because like sales, marketing, storytelling, copywriting, these are all skill sets that most people don't have.
Yeah.
Usually they're really fucking good coach. They're a consultant. They are a photographer, an accountant, right? So like some of the clients that I have. But now they're supposed to show up on social media. They're supposed to know what hashtags to use. They're supposed to understand that there's a different marketing strategy for Facebook than there is for Instagram, than there is for TikTok, than there is for LinkedIn.
Mm.
Each platform has its own strategy, but like that's a marketing thing
Yeah.
that just like most people don't know. So, who do you need to hire to teach you the information that you need to build and grow an actual business?
Mm. Yeah. I think the money, as ever with me, the money thing always hits really
Mhm.
hard. Like, how do your clients deal with asking for more money?
Like you mean
Or,
like raising their rates?
yeah, raising their rates. Yeah, how does that go down?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of mindset work, a lot of and this is where the personal development stuff comes in because there are beliefs around worthiness and deserving,
Mm.
looking at the money stories that they were raised with because you have to work through. I could just say like, okay, you should charge $1,000 for this, and they could put that price tag on their website and then not sell it at all because they don't think that their service is worth that much money. They don't think that they deserve that much money. They're like, who the hell do I think I am asking for that much money? It's so
Mm.
sleazy to try to ask that much money for this kind of service. That's all mindset stuff. Like, that's all reprogramming stuff that has to be dealt with. So, one thing that I encourage my clients to do is know what you eventually want to charge for this. And then how some people are just ready to like fucking rip the band-aid off and charge that much. Most
Yeah.
people need to baby step their way into those prices. So
Yeah.
if you know that you want to get paid $1,000 a month for your coaching, but you're struggling to ask for $50 a session, we got some work to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So we need to look at your confidence as a service provider. Let's just say it's a coach, like your
Mm.
confidence as a coach. What are your beliefs around how good you are as a coach? How do you build your confidence as a coach? Well, I've only coached 2 people. Great. We need you to coach more people so that you trust that you're a really good fucking coach.
Yeah.
So, do you need to give free sessions away? Do you need to charge $35 a session to start building your chops as a coach? Because that's one thing that I see new coaches really struggling with is that they can't build their business because they don't think they're actually good at what they do yet.
Yeah.
So we got to go way back. We got to build your confidence. And I used to be a coach trainer, so I fully understand this. I've trained many coaches,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to address this before we try to get you premium pricing.
Yeah. 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 It's almost like in the gym, and now that I've got my personal training, I'm heading towards getting my personal training, but it's like regression. You know,
Yeah.
if you can't do a pull-up, there's almost no point just struggling. You have to look at regressing it back to, okay, well, can you do a dead hang for 10 seconds? No, fine, let's do a dead hang for 5 seconds. And, you know, and then you're just building back up
Progressive
again.
overload. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could talk. I'm aware of time, so I want to make sure that I don't keep you for like the 5 hours that I definitely could. But let's talk then about, like, I was going to ask you, like, what other business coaches do. I don't want to say wrong, but do differently. But also, I suppose what I'm kind of combining my questions and my thoughts, like, you talk a lot in your work about like honesty, integrity, and how do you then keep that rooted with not just sort of getting too corporate, getting too sort of like performative with your coaching, getting too sort of like glossy? How do you keep it real? That's basically what I'm talking. Yeah.
Oh, good question. I mean, what comes up for me is like we're dealing with humans.
Mm,
So it's human first and then business stuff. It's human first and then strategy.
yeah.
And because I was trained originally as a life coach, and so that's the training, and then I added on business coaching and marketing and studied on my own, but like my basic training was in general life coaching. Thinking about, I mean, obviously, like we all do things a lot differently,
Mm.
but I feel like one thing that sets me apart is that one, I've had actual training and I've gone
Yeah.
through coach training, um, and have different modalities, cognitive behavioral coaching, somatic coaching, different practices. And so being able to weave all of this into the business coaching and showing up as a human is what's going to transform any business.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that, like you have to be regulated as a human. You have to be in touch with yourself as a human first, and then build the business from that grounded humanistic place.
Yeah. Yeah. I believe, yeah, I believe I always jump in and do the thing and then sort of scale it back and go, wait, who am I? Like, because you know, you want to get out there and set up a business and start making money, but there always needs to be at some point. I used to hate like people going, what is your why? I'm like, my why is rent. I don't know. But actually,
Totally.
you know, like, and I think that's so valid. I think it's okay to need money and want to be employed doing what you do, but eventually I think you do have to at some point you have to look at your, like, what is the service that you're providing and where you
Mm-hmm.
come from and what it is that lights you up as you do this, and then what is
Absolutely.
who you're trying to connect with, because it's not everyone. And you know, we've all had clients that it doesn't quite work with because, you know, especially in the early days for me, I remember taking on a client that I was like, I knew on the call that we were just utterly different, and it took 2 sessions and it was like, no, this isn't working. And I think that is when you know yourself well enough to go, you know, I'm not for everyone, but also I'm trying to do everything ethically with heart and also run a business that works for me. as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a
Yeah.
weird sentence, but yeah. Okay, quick fire then. So, what is a business cliche that you wish would disappear?
Oh geez.
I say this as my neighbors have just started drilling as well. So it could be we edit this out. Who knows? But yeah.
Um, oh God. Oh, on the spot, I'm not good.
No, okay.
I just did an episode on my podcast today. So the first, like, what's top of mind is like that you need a niche, that you can just throw anything out there, and that you can get hired, and you don't have to be like specific, like just be general
Yeah.
with your results. Like so that's kind of what's top of mind right now.
Yeah. What, that you don't need a niche, or you can, or that you should niche?
No, like there's like high level coaches who have a niche
Mm.
telling their audience that they don't need to niche down, or that they don't need to
Uh,
have a sort of niche. And it's like, oh, that's not true. I don't think
yeah,
it's true at all.
this is it. It's narrative. I always think niche is narrative. Like it's just narrative for me. Like it's like
And
it's
it's
like
not
I
your identity. Like, and
yeah.
I feel, and this is so many people, um, like put their identity into their work, and they don't have a buffer.
Mm,
And so they're like, if I niche down, then like I'm the niche, I'm this, but it's like you're niching down so that the person who is supposed to buy this program understands that this program is for them. Like you have to speak directly to them, because if you're just super fucking generic with the results and you're like, "Oh, I help you build your confidence." It's like that speaks to literally nobody. Like it's not specific enough. But if you want to attract a certain kind of person and you want to work with, like I help coaches who don't think that they're good coaches build
mm,
their confidence so that they can serve their client, right? Like the more specific that I can get, the people who don't feel confident about the coach it, right? They're going to be like, "Oh, wait, she's talking to me about this," versus like, "Oh, I help you feel more confident."
yeah.
Okay, like next. Because the
Yeah.
person who
Yeah.
has a niche, who's speaking directly to the people, is going to get
Yeah.
hired. Like they're going to
Yeah.
hear that. And so like anyway, I could
Yeah.
talk on forever about this.
No, I love that. And also definitely been in the space of going, but I do that. Why were they hired by that person? I do that. And then just going, oh, because I'm absolutely not
I
being specific.
Yeah, I didn't speak directly to their problem. I didn't tell them exactly how I can solve that problem for them. Yeah.
I'm so like that is perennial. I can't say that all the time. That is the thing that I do. I just sit there quite a lot and just go, I'm doing this. This is wonderful. I'm quite happy to like stand on stage and be like, this is what I do in general terms. It's such a bad habit, but yeah. Okay, quick fiery ones then. So, we may have covered this actually, but one piece of advice that you would give your clients on repeat, or like what is one thing that keeps coming up?
Um
Hmm?
Start doing mindset work. And if you
Yeah.
fall off the wagon, get back on it. Yeah, because that's going to make or break. Because the strategy part's easy. Like I could give you a strategy. I could tell you exactly how to show up. But if your brain is telling you that it's not going to work, that you suck, that you're horrible, right? That like all of the things that our brains do to try to keep us safe,
Yeah.
the strategy is not going to work. And we default to strategy when the problem is typically energetic and how we're showing up and our belief in ourselves.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. I thought about you yesterday because I was like, oh, I'm jumping on a call with Shannon. That'll be exciting. And then I was like, oh, when was the last time I journaled? And it's just like in a pile of books over there. I'm like, oh, that'll be why. It's like, yeah.
I I'll say that I hadn't journaled in so long that I didn't know where my journal was.
Yeah.
So,
I think it's over there. I have to be honest. I don't know where it is right now.
okay.
That needs to
I'm
be the
back
post. Where is
now.
your
I
journal?
journaled this morning. I took a picture to capture the moment. But yeah, I had no idea where it was. I hadn't journaled in like 3 or 4 months. So also to say, like, queen of journaling
Yeah,
fell off the wagon, and so just get back on. But
yeah,
it's just, it changes everything. It changes your mood, it changes the energy. And when you pump yourself up in your mindset work and you're journaling and you have like a dance party and then you write a post from that energy, that's going to be felt very differently than you just popping some shit into Chat GPT and being like, I know I'm
yeah,
supposed to show up today. My coach told me I need to post, so I'm just going to post this thing, versus like, this program's so good, I can't shut the fuck up about it, I need to tell
yeah.
everybody about it. It's different.
Yes,
Yeah,
100%. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think that's gonna be the big difference between now and forever in terms of AI and how things are written,
for
of
sure.
just making it, yeah, because we all use it for bits of content and things where we're sort of rewriting it, and it's just all got that same. As a writer myself, I'm like, oh, I can see the glimmers of it now, like all the way through.
Mm,
But if it works, it works. But yeah, there's nothing that beats just talking shit in your journal and then just
yeah,
whacking that
totally.
sort of excitement across to, yeah, I love that. um there used to be, I don't know if you know this, I can't remember if it's Andrew would know this, like it's a TV advert, but I don't know if it's American or just an English thing, of like, do you know where your children are? And it was
Mm,
about, do you remember that? I can't,
yeah.
I was just thinking it's like your journal though. Do you know where your journal is in that same? Oh, whoops. No, I don't right now. So yeah. Okay, so last quick fire. I've got so many, but I'm just gonna pick one. So the best boundary that you've ever set in business.
Mm. Oof. Having proper business hours, and like knowing what my cutoff is. Like,
Yeah,
I am toast after 8 o'clock at night.
yeah,
So I don't do calls. Like, that's it. Like, I might be doing paperwork or podcast stuff, right? Like sending out newsletters or like scheduling stuff, but like actual human contact,
yeah,
my brain is done at 8 p.m. So
yeah. And you start work later in the day because you're in Italy and your clients are
yeah,
often in America, right? So you're
yeah,
not like
yeah.
saying that
So
you work from like 9 in the morning all the way till 8 and then you're
no, no,
done.
no,
It's
no,
not
no,
that.
no, 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 no.
Yeah,
So, yeah, my schedule right now is I am working on my business from 11 to 2. I have lunch from 2 to 3, and then 3 to 6 I'm working in my client's business doing
yeah,
their marketing. But most of my um clientele are from North America. So I don't need to start until 3 o'clock anyway, because it's 9 o'clock Eastern.
yeah,
So I have a whole day before my day starts. Quite
yeah.
lovely.
Yeah, and I bet really easy to get into hustle if you're not careful, that you're like, I could do a whole day
Correct.
and then a day.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that I
Definitely.
can definitely see that. That would be my pattern until it wasn't. But
Oh,
yeah.
also integration weeks.
Oh yes, you've taught me that. I have resting
Yeah,
weeks. I was just looking at my calendar going, when was the last time that I actually did a resting week?
yeah.
And I think I've accidentally done them but not acknowledged them. So I think I need to
Mm.
re-acknowledge them. But you call them, because I can never remember what the word is. Is it integration?
Integration.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one thing that I do is that all of my programs are 3 calls a month.
Mm,
And then we have an integration week, because we're all doing work. I'm doing personal work. I'm learning things when I'm on calls with my clients. They are taking in lots of information. And so having that week where we rest or integrate, if there's a fifth week, like there is this month, I'll add in an extra call of just like some Q&A, but like mostly co-working, just to
mm,
reconnect. But usually, a month is 4 weeks. And so that week, I just get to do whatever the fuck I want to do. I clear my schedule. I don't have calls with clients. If I want to sleep in, if I want to travel. So that's the week that I don't have to juggle clients around. So if I'm traveling internationally, that I'll choose that week specifically so that I don't have to disrupt my calendar or disrupt any client calls. It's just so nice to have a breather, and my clients love it. And the fear when I first started was that, oh, everyone's going to hate it. They're going to feel like they're not getting their value. Clients look forward to integration week. They're like, oh my gosh, I see my empty schedule next week, and like I can breathe, like I can power through 3 weeks. And then I know that I can lay out in the yard and in the hammock. And so there's just that is like such a huge part of my business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's changed. It changed my life just to be, and it's how all my programs are the same now, and that's directly from you. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's huge. So wrapping up then, where can
Okay.
I'll put all the details of this in the show notes and in links and things like that, but tell us where people can find you, and then anything exciting that's coming up. So yeah, tell us about what's going on with you at the moment, and then where people can get in contact with you, find you, all of those things.
Yeah. So right now I have shifted my business a little bit. So I'm doing some more done with you, done for you content strategy, launch strategy, and marketing. So I have different packages available for one-on-one coaching, depending on if they want more of a service or if they want me to teach them how to do it and then coach them through it. If they want to just hand things over to me and then I'll do it, there's different packages for that. So that's what's on the horizon. Marketing Magic is coming up next. So that's exciting. Yeah. I've changed that program a little bit and how it's delivered. So I'm really excited about that. And let's see what else. My podcast, the Anti-Hustle Business Podcast.
My favorite podcast, I have to say.
Thanks. One thing that I'm very excited about is that season 5, I have a freebie for each of my episodes. So the episode that comes out this week is there's a CEO assessment. So there's a freebie workshop or worksheet for that. So that's something that I'm testing out. So, but you can find all of it at antihustlebiz.com.
Okay. And say that one more time because I may have spoken over you.
Antihustlebiz.com.
Yay.
Yep.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm really resisting because I know we've already run over. So I'm not going to speak to you anymore.
Okay.
I'm just going to say, honestly, like, I don't want to fangirl too much, but like you have absolutely changed my life, and in business, personal life, and showing me what's possible. I am so like proud of myself for investing in coaching with you, but I've absolutely never ever regretted that, and I feel like yeah, I love what you do, and I think it's so important. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming on the podcast. And yeah, I
Absolutely.
think we're done. I never know how to end these, but
I
thank
love it.
you.
Okay. Ciao for now.
Bye. Cheers. Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.
I love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always